We need to respect the fans. Juventini, this year, you all deserve a medal. You deserve a medal because this year was not only mentally draining for the players, but also for us. We were tired of it. So I understand Juventini that said, we don't care. Even if we have to be out of Europe 2 years, we don't care. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I know, I'm sorry, I'm late. I had to upload that video way earlier, but sometimes it's impossible. For 2 reasons. First one, I was in meeting all morning with Juventus, fantastic meeting, but that's something off topic for the future. And then something also important, I was just waiting to have the full picture of what has been said, also waiting for the official communication from Juventus so that we can just speak about everything and hopefully a last time in one single video. Thank you to all the people that sent me messages in the meanwhile. Beppe, can you explain this? Beppe, can you give a bit more information about this? Is this true? Is it not true? It's showing just one thing, that you are giving trust to the channel and also to me personally, so thank you. If you want to, you can still continue to put a maximum of like, subscribing to the channel. We finish every single trial that Juventus was accused for, Plusvalenza, Salary Maneuvre, everything is over today. And that's already a great news in a way, because I know a lot of Juventini today, they celebrated, they breathed out. Finally, it's over, more or less. Well, what are the consequences? 10 points were confirmed for the Plusvalenza. This has not been decided today, was already confirmed in the warm-up of Empoli that we lost 4-1. We knew about it, minus 10. And before Milan, in that warm-up, Francesco Calvo, that was insulted by everyone. Yesterday we were speaking about it. Remember, acqua passata. Let's forget about it. We will not appeal anymore for these 10 points. Well, he confirmed that these 10 points were there. Plusvalenza, boom. Then, today, an additional punishment was given to Juventus for the salary maneuver. 780,000 euro as a fine for Juventus. No more point deduction, the 10 for the Plusvalenza, nothing as point deduction for the salary maneuver. Inhibition confirmed for some ex-managers and also for them a fine to pay. But the most important thing is that now, for the Federazione Italiana Gioco Calcio, for the Italian Sporting Court and so on, everything is over. We have the confirmation that Juventus on the field will play European football next year. At the moment, it's Conference League, but it can change depending on the last match day result, match day 38. What is Roma doing, Atalanta, what is Juventus doing? Then we can possibly maybe go in UEFA Europa League. Of course, this is on the field with the minus point that were given by Federazione Italiana Gioco Calcio. We don't know yet what UEFA will say, but we will come back on that in a second. Am I celebrating like a lot of Juventini that were saying, grazie, it's over, we can move on, we can start fresh and clean and zero? No, I am not celebrating. I will explain you why. But am I thinking that it has been taken the right decision from Juventus to accept the deal? Yes. And you know that I am a person that has big values, that if I believe I'm right, I don't care. But yes, because sometimes you have to look at the 360 degree. And I believe that Juventus did the right thing in accepting it. Look, ragazzi, a few things that we have to go back to. The first video I made, John Elkann, after all the dismissal of the board, I told you John Elkann will defend ourselves. He will defend Juventus. He's not the same John Elkann as in 2006 that were catapulted in a role that he was obliged suddenly in a really young age to defend Juventus against the accusation of Calciopoli that was done in 2-3 weeks, and we were in Serie B. This time, it's absolutely not the same John Elkann. If you want an evidence of what I'm saying, even today in the press communique of Juventus, they are saying the company Juventus, while repeating the correctness of its actions and the soundness of its defensive arguments, is accepting the deal, blah, 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 blah. So they are repeating one more time, even if we accept the deal, we are not guilty. You want another argument? Well, you listen to all the rumors. Juventus at the moment is not stepping away from the Super League. Super League that Gazzetta dello Sport was asking to Juventus several times to give up on Super League, because then UEFA would close an eye and say, we forgive you. At the moment, Juventus is waiting for the final judgment on Super League, and then we will see. Maybe we'll accept to stop, maybe not, but at the moment, we continue to defend ourselves. Ragazzi, unfortunately, I believe that accepting the deal was the best and probably also the only way for the interest of the club. On the channel, we followed every single step of the court since last year in April, when Juventus, with other clubs, they were found not guilty of Plusvalenza, until Kine reopened the process, until the Naples fans as prosecutors that were saying we hate Juve and so on. We followed every single step. We saw how much of a farce it was. We saw that the trial was a joke. Juventus, as I promised you, and they showed it with facts, they continue to defend. They blocked all the accusation and they answered, defending themselves, continuing to say, we are not guilty. What did we win? From a minus 15, only a minus 10. That's already one win. We also won, and that's why we anticipated the trial of Salary Maneuvre that was planned on the 15th of June. We were able to anticipating it to now, before the last day of Serie A. Why? Because we wanted a final verdict, what we have now. And that's a really important thing. Because there was a risk to postpone to season 23-24. If we didn't find any deal, it would have been continued on the 15th of June. We would have received the notification, the information, a possible penalization. We would have appealed, and you never know. And maybe the punishment could have been in the future, in season 22-23 or 23-24. We know that it's a joke. We know that everything that we did to defend ourselves, it didn't work. We know it. You know how they did the motivation of the 10 points? 4 points to Paratici, 3 to Agnelli, 2 to Arrivabene, that was not even there, but we care, we don't care. 1 point to Cherubini. Hey, they could have even wrote on their documentation 5 points for GJustjuve. Imagine. Yeah, but everything was possible. We knew that it was a joke of a farce, of a trial. We know it. We tried. It was impossible. At a certain moment, you say, you know, let's start fresh. Gravina, he makes me angry. Because Gravina, he said it was the best result for Italian football, the one that led to a moment of serenity, while fully respecting the laws. Well, today they still need to explain you what are the laws for Plusvalenza. Maybe they will find them. Maybe they will write them new laws for Plusvalenza in the next season. But until today, nobody is able to explain me. So I'm angry with the words of Gravina. No, it is not a expected and shared act, the best result for Italian football. It's the best result for you. Because I always told you, the big objective was to punish Juventus while keeping Juventus in Serie A, because they couldn't afford themselves to send Juventus in Serie B. It was impossible for them. Juventus, as I told you, they didn't want to postpone. They wanted to start fresh. And that's an important message, because they are writing officially on their document, allows the company, accepting that deal, allows the company to achieve a definitive result, settling the matter and overcoming the state of tension and instability that would inevitably descend from the continuation of disputes whose outcomes and timing would remain uncertain. That's what they are telling you. We were, in a way, obliged, because if we didn't, it would continue. And in a way, it's also disrespecting the fans that can't think anymore about the 90 minutes of the field, but needs to start with a degree in law to understand and being able to explain it. We need to start fresh. We had a hell of a season, a really difficult one. We were not able to speak too much about the field. We were speaking more about other things. And this is not acceptable for the fans. We need to enjoy or to hate what is happening on the field. We need to discuss. We need to say Allegri in, Allegri out, McKennie in, McKennie out. We need to speak about I want Vlahovic to become the future star of Juventus, or I want to sell him. I want to speak about there was a right decision or wrong decision. We played bad or we played well. But we want to speak about the field. That's how we fell in love with football. Not the trials, not Kine, not Santoriello, not Gravina. We don't care. We want to speak about football. Eventually we can even speak about do we like the shirt or we don't like the new shirt. But not the other things. We need to respect the fans. Juventini, this year, you all deserve a medal. You deserve a medal because this year was not only mentally draining for the players, but also for us. We were tired of it. So I understand Juventini that said, we don't care. Even if we have to be out of Europe 2 years, we don't care. We want to rebuild from the zero, And that's what Juventus is saying in their official documentation. They are writing, with the decision of accepting the deal, we are also allowing the management, the coach of the first team, without names, but that's something else, and the players to focus on sport activities and in particular on the overall planning of next season. The future starts today. But as I told you, I'm not celebrating, because I will never celebrate an injustice, because we're speaking about injustice, not justice, injustice. The law is not equal for everyone. We spoke about it so many times. Look, we were punished for Plusvalenza with a -15 for 3 months. 3 months, without knowing what would have been our destiny. We played bad, but it influenced, and we all know it. And we were waiting for a final decision. It destroyed us mentally. 10 points at the end were deducted without clear evidences. I don't know. I'm still waiting for evidences. No rules are existing. There are no real motivation behind it. You remember? 4 points to him, 3 to him. Here, bingo, vamos. It's like Eurovision. 10 points for him, 12 for England. No, England is always 0 anyway. Germany and England 0. The other ones, Sweden, 12, always 12, Sweden. It's like that. Look, we were the only one to be punished. For Plusvalenza, that you are actually obliged to be with 2. Otherwise, you can't do Plusvalenza. But we were the only club in the world to be punished for Plusvalenza. We lose UCL, the Champions League participation that we deserved on the field. Even playing bad, we deserve that participation on the field. They are taking us away. And we still don't know what Seferin will say. Because now in Italy it's over and we can breathe. But maybe next week I will tell you, hey, UEFA decided to ban us for 1 year, for 2 years, for 3 years. We don't know. So I'm not celebrating that it's over yet at the moment. We will pay a fee of 720,000 euro. For some people, they will say, it's okay for a club like Juve. We pay and it's over. And no, because we lose the participation on Champions League, 80 million euro. If we want to rebuild, that's 80 million loss you start with, and that you need to recuperate in a way or in another. What does that mean? No Champions League, your players are leaving for free, and they will not renew. Rabiot, for example, it's a big example. But also, players like Vlahovic that we see on the papers, they want to play Champions League, and I understand them in a way. And I understand them. Well, probably they will not renew, or renew. We will not be able to keep them. But you know what? When a player is asking himself to leave, probably you can't ask the money that you want, because you have to satisfy an unhappy player. These are the consequences of the punishment. It's not only -10 and 720,000 euro that we have to pay. It's much deeper, and this will have consequences because the new player that you will attract, Serie A is already not attractive. On top of that, you are a club that is not participating to Champions League. What will you offer them? A club also that will have financial difficulties to rise back. What will you offer? What can you offer? Some people were speaking about Asensio. Asensio is linked and apparently one step away from Aston Villa for 8 million euro net salary. Aston Villa. With all the respect, Aston Villa. Juve, Milan, Napoli, Inter. We can't afford Asensio. We can't. We can't. This is a reality. So imagine if you're not even playing Champions League, it's a total disaster. But probably the worst, the dirt on our name forever. Even if we wrote it, we are not guilty. We accept Article 127. That means, and it's written, it's not saying, it's not admitting that you are guilty. We will always be seen guilty from the anti-Juve world. It will not be easy, guys, to rebuild, but absolutely not easy. Finally, and then I start closing, it also showed that we, supporters, we are a lot of time reactionary. Ragazzi, in the last days I saw a lot, and I read it a lot of time, and many times, we don't defend ourselves, management out, Calvo unacceptable words before the Milan game, John is only thinking about himself, is not thinking about the club. We never speak, we never tweet, we never tell the supporters how it is, tell us, we need to know. Well, a lot of anti-Juve people, they were enjoying that moment because they were speaking. They will send you in Serie B. They will take you so many points. They will punish you. the fee for the salary maneuver will be 180 million and maybe more. You will go bankrupt. You will not be able. They were enjoying. They were celebrating. They were convinced of Juventus being guilty and being sent in Serie B. A lot of you guys, Rakan, my friend, for example, you were worried, and correctly worried. Beppe, is it true or not? Why are they continue to say that we will go in second division? I always told you, second division is impossible. Italian football need Juventus. They want to punish us. They want to put an example. We know that Seferin is pushing, but never, no way that they will send this in Serie B. Look, Juventus, they worked in silence, and we closed the case today. Am I satisfied? No. But now, at least we can speak about what we love the most. Il campo, the field. If you still have other questions, let me know in the comment. Grazie, forza, Juve.